And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California, where it is beautiful this morning. It's a little crisp in the air. And it is Wednesday, January 4th. Happy New Year again. And all I got to say is let's keep winning this year. I hope you guys are as excited to be back at work as I am back at your battle station. Lots of fun things going on today. So I really hope you guys are all excited to jump in and take a look at these markets. And today, really a little boring news on Bitcoin. We're talking about the same thing we've been talking about, but repetition is important in trading, and so is patience. So what is the range? We got 45.5 to the downside, and we've got 52,500 to the upside, and we're just looking for a daily closure above or below there, and then a pretty decent move. And what I'm talking about is maybe a swipe down towards 41,000 to 42,000. And I think that would be completely okay, and I'd actually be rather happy if that did happen. Again, if Bitcoin does want to close back above 52,000, I'm ready to get bullish and look for targets around 54,000 for a stop, as that was the last major breakdown area somewhere around here. But that's it for Bitcoin. As I don't want to beat a dead horse and really talk about the same thing we've been talking about for the past few months, but I want to talk about a few altcoins and, Ethereum. Let's just pop in and take a look at Ethereum. And Ethereum is making higher lows and higher highs on the 4 hours, so I do like that. And I do believe we had, we got Stokes down. We do have volatility that it's been very low, so big move incoming. But basically, the range we're looking at on Ethereum is on the daily time frame. And wow, there's a lot of lines there. Let me see if I can take a few off here. Maybe I have it on this chart. Oh, that's a little cleaner. This is Ethereum futures, which, not the same as spot price, but futures tend to trade a little more technically speaking. But I'd say 4,000 to the upside, and then about 36.21 to the downside, and any kind of a break on a daily. I'd actually raise that up, be a little more conservative at 4,100. Any kind of a daily closure above or below there, and we get a little bit of a move, in my opinion. And what I do want to check in on as well is Ethereum Bitcoin. And why is Ethereum Bitcoin outperforming Bitcoin in a sense? Why is the rate of return on investment on Ethereum been greater than Bitcoin? And technically speaking, the chart speaks all. It's just macro bullish, and it reminds me a lot of what happened last year, or back in in March 2017, and then again in December 2017, and then really since the beginning of December 2019. Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin, by about 40% in macro bull markets on the low side, and depending upon if you're trading swing highs and swing lows, you're talking 3 or 4 times. So why is this important? Well, generally speaking, when Ethereum Bitcoin is macro bullish, so in a weekly uptrend, making higher lows and higher highs on a weekly schedule, generally you think you get another 3 to 6 months of that direction. So sideways and up, and then, on a monthly time frame, let's see, what are we doing on a monthly? So you've got, the higher high and the higher low. I mean, when did it start back here? Higher high, higher low, right? And then boom, off to the races, and that's been since December 20. last year. And in fact, go back to January of 20, you would have outperformed Bitcoin quite significantly by just, diversifying with a little Bitcoin. Needless to say, the charts don't lie. And right now, Bitcoin is being rather quiet, right? So, we've had some rather boring price action. And, if you think Bitcoin is only likely to get a 2x over the next 6 to 12 months at most, actually from 46,000 to 120, it could be about a 3x maybe if the market really gets going, right? You might be thinking, hey, I'm looking for a 5 or a 10x. I've heard about these altcoins. What do they do? Well, then in my opinion, you have to take a deeper dive into the technology space of the future financial sectors, also known as DeFi or decentralized finance. I think you want to look at the metaverse and the gaming sector. And so some coins we're going to talk about: Sand, Avalanche, Luna, MATIC, Curve, YEARN, Sushi. We're going to just pop in and take a look at some of those and just revisit some of the underlying market dynamics for Bitcoin, and starting with open interest at 13.35 billion, so near an all-time high. The global leverage ratio at 0.22%, which is at an all-time high. And you got Bitcoin dominance coming in here at 39.5%. We did say this could be a macro low, and we were expecting a break actually back up here in Bitcoin dominance to really start to get going with a break above 42. But that didn't happen. And that's why altcoins have been, significantly outperforming Bitcoin. As Bitcoin dominance goes down, typically altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin. So what else did I want to talk about? The fear and greed index here, which is coming in at a 24. So back in the extremely fearful zone. What I would like to see is for us to come into the, somewhere around the 10 read like we got back in June of 2021. July of 2021. And, for Bitcoin to put in that macro low we've been talking about, and, hypothesizing it could come in somewhere around the $42,000 region. And that would be completely fine for it to bounce off that region. And who knows, during that time, altcoins could get absolutely slacked, or some of the higher performing altcoins could get some more market share or market dominance. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. So again, macro outlook on Bitcoin, we want to look at a weekly time frame, and we are still in an uptrend as long as Bitcoin is making higher lows and higher highs. So where would that fall apart? At about 42,500 on a weekly schedule, and then on the daily schedule, we'd say somewhere around this last daily higher low coming in at about 37,500, call it 38,000. So could we get some wicks down there? The market is really geared up. There's a lot of leverage in the market right now, but again, I think this more lines up for maybe, a, bounce up and then a swipe down, and then maybe we pick it up over the next, 30 days or so. But I'm going to be keeping a close eye on everything. And, again, what's the more bullish news out there? Capital inflows, right? New money is going to come into the market. And that's a general rise up in stocks. And then usually that's bullish for Bitcoin. And I imagine some of these money managers have some money to put towards Bitcoin. But here's what I'm looking at on the NASDAQ right now. We've just made not a new all-time high. Let's take a look at S&P. Yep, new all-time high on the S&P, and then the Dow as well. So what am I looking for here? And I don't know why the Dow is leading the market right now, but NASDAQ has been the general for some time. And S&P, maybe it's a little catch up, a little, that's how it goes. First it goes Bitcoin, then it goes Ethereum, then everybody else gets a little love. And, in the traditional market sense, it's been NASDAQ, right? And then S&P, and then Dow. And it's important to keep an eye on that as well, in my opinion. And we have been talking about the dollar here on the daily, which, let's put a pretty defined range on the dollar. And dollar down, right, means the dollar losing value. That's good for risk on assets like stocks and Bitcoin. Dollar up, typically not good for risk on assets. So that's the whole interest rate game that Mr. Jerome Powell has to figure out, is how to, not raise rates and still save the economy and put jobs back on the table. But we can talk about that another day. And I would say, again, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. We're just looking at some of the underlying market dynamics, and we want to take a few of the altcoins that, have been rather trending and see why that might be. But MATIC, just a review, is kind of on this macro breakout, going back from all the way from there, but, more on a weekly schedule. And the measure move on this guy is coming in somewhere around 331. And if we did want to, and where does that idea kind of get destroyed? For me, in a sense, gosh, back below, if we had a weekly come back below $1.85, I'd say that thing gets destroyed. But this could be a really volatile asset, and I wouldn't mind a test down to about 220 right now. I'd look at that as a major buying opportunity. And actually, in fact, if we started closing dailies back, below 220, that would be a big red flag. Hey, might be time to look for some lower targets, around $1.75. And, this thing could still come back down there and be macro bullish. It's been just a fantastic performer. And that's what you have to realize with some of the altcoins that have the opportunities to do a 5 or a 10x, which I'm not, in fact, endorsing this one for that at the moment, but I do like it as, something over the next few months that makes some new all-time highs. What else did I want to check in on? What do we say we're going to look at here? Okay, sand again, kind of fighting for its last chance right here. And, I would say if this thing breaks on a daily, yeah, I'm looking for a move down to $5. $5 breaks, and we could, filling in this wick over there. But I think there's more of a chance of a bounce right now. I don't know. That's just my opinion. AVAX, same thing. And, usually that green 55 is a bouncing air territory. So that looks more like a bounce. And if AVAX can get, a daily closure back above 114, I'm looking for 125 to get tagged. And, we start closing dailies back above 126, retest of the highs. And we check in from there. What else did I want to take a look at? We have Luna, which is, fighting on for glory here, holding the yellow 21. Typically, it hits that the first time, that's a buy. Second time is a buy, but the more times you test a trend line, the weaker it gets. And any kind of a daily closure below there, and you're looking for targets down to about $70 or 75. And back above back above here at about 93. I look for Luna to retest the highs, and yeah, this one is still macro bullish, and it could come all the way down to 73 and, you know, be completely fine. What else do I want to talk about here? Curve, just another one that I've kind of had my eye on. Okay, here we have Curve versus US dollar, and it is in what I would take a look at as a macro breakout. Why? Well, we've been making higher lows and higher highs on a weekly schedule, and we did just break a critical level here, this neckline, and that is after we got this measure move here, right? We broke this fib, and the way I'm getting this retracement, right, is from this consolidation, this wick high and this wick low, and that's in very volatile markets, and you know, that's just how I look at it. And what I would put is the next target at about 850, and usually it does not stop there at the 1618. Usually heads up to about 2618, and this one long term, because of what Curve Dow does, I think has some significant market potential, and we're going to go over some of those underlying market dynamics. And then another one I wanted to take a look at was YEARN. YEARN Finance. This one is, as you can imagine, in the DeFi space. And on a weekly schedule, we just made our first higher high, right? So then what would you expect if we're going to get a trend reversal? Would be a higher low. Where could that get put in? At about 30,281. Why do I like this one for potential? Some of the underlying market dynamics, plus, I mean, look at the all-time high at $92,000. So we'll keep an eye on this one over time. And, yep, I think that's going to be it for today. We covered Bitcoin. We beat the dead horse. We've repeated it over and over. 52,000 to the upside, 45.5 to the downside. And I'm just going to go back and check it one more time here. Bitcoin, CME futures. Are we going to get a bounce here on the 4 hour? We did get a nice bounce. Look at this wick. That's, you know, volatility heating up. Can we get back over 47.5? I would say if we do 47.55, I'd be looking for 48.5 to get hit, and then a move up to at least 50,800, and then take a look at it from there. So I want to go ahead and wrap it up with Bitcoin again on even a 4 hour, right? On a 4 hour closure back above 52,165, looking good. Quick move up to 44.4, and then a move up to about 58. To the downside, if we get that 4 hour closure below 45,865, I'll be looking for a move somewhere around 41.7 to 42, and I think there's an excellent opportunity for risk to reward there. All right, hope you all have a blessed day. Take care.